Guys, what's going on? So I'm finishing up wrenching on the GSXR 750, getting it ready for its full M4 exhaust and the reflash of the ECU. I'm definitely looking forward to this, guys. Finally get to unrestrict this bike and have some real fun with it. But, you know, I got to thinking, I had done a video comparing the GSXR 750 against the GSXR 1000, but I seem to have missed the most obvious comparison that I should have already done, and that is to talk about the GSXR 750 and how it compares to its smaller sibling, the GSXR 600. So let's dive into it. First of all, at first glance, you'd be forgiven if you couldn't tell the difference between the two bikes. The GSXR 750 and the GSXR 600 share the same platform. So there's really no dimensional difference. They share the same plastics, and outside of a number badge on the tail, one reads 600, the other 750, the only real visual cue between the bikes is that the 750 has gold forks and the 600 has black. Now, when you think about bikes in terms of outright performance, though, you might initially believe that the 750 has got a major advantage over the 600. I mean, it's a bigger engine after all, makes more horsepower and torque, but that's not the real story. They're actually a lot more similar in performance, at least in real-world application, than the spec sheet might give away. Now, what does the spec sheet look like between these two bikes? Well, the 600 and the 750 are practically the same weight, right around 420 pounds with all the fluids. They share the same wheelbase, and, well, when it comes to horsepower, this is where things get a little bit different, and this is where you can get possibly a little bit misled. The GSXR 750, when it's been de-restricted, is going to put down somewhere around 130 or so horsepower to the rear wheels. The GSXR 600, in the same state of tune, is going to put down somewhere on the shy side of, say, 115. So, give or take 15 odd horsepower separating the two bikes. You would think the clear winner would be the 750, but that's not the case. You see, the GSXR 600 has significantly more aggressive gearing. And I'm not just talking about the sprocket sizes, I'm talking about the gearing inside the transmission. Roughly about 15%. So when you do the math, the actual twist, the force that 600 puts to the rear tire, it's kind of the same as the 750, with the only real difference that it doesn't hold on to that gear for as long because it is significantly shorter, with the one parting trick that the 600 would have over the 750 being that it will make peak horsepower somewhere around 14,000 RPM, where the 750 will make it around 13,000 RPM. So that translates into an acceleration factor that is very similar. It just doesn't last as long with the 600. Now, when you couple that with the fact that, well, you get a lot of the sensations out of the 600 that you get from the 750 and vice versa, the 600 checks in at about $2,000 less than the 750. So which bike is better for you? Well, they're both incredible machines. I've got experience with both bikes, guys, and I can tell you that you're not coming into a conflict unarmed with either one of these machines. But with a $2,000 difference, it really does make that 600 look like it might be a little bit better value. And let's say you're looking at this from the prospect of doing a lot of track days. Well, $2,000 goes a long way to buying tires and leathers and gas and travel expenses, you name it. And you're not going to get a whole lot of benefit on track with the 750 unless you're a little bit bigger of a rider than you will rocking that GSXR 600. Now, granted, yes, you can re-gear the GSXR 750 and make up some of that inherent advantage that the 600 has in terms of gearing, but the reality is this: if you're just comparing motorcycle to motorcycle, the GSXR 600 does offer up some benefits that the GSXR 750 just can't. One of those benefits is just how smooth and how silky the 600 can be. Now, that's not taking anything away from the 750, but on track, the dollar savings, the predictability, the silkiness of that 600, it would be tough. If you were going to campaign a bike year after year and basically just use it as a track weapon, or you're just up in the mountains or up in the canyons, you might not need anything more than the 600. Save the $2,000 for whatever else you want to spend it on. Maybe that might be the better ticket. For me though, I got a soft spot for the 750, and I think that the extra power and the extra torque helps to carry my fat ass around just fine. Plus, I just absolutely love the bike in general, so it's 750 for me all the way, but it might not be the same for you. If you're a smaller rider, that 600 will offer up all the performance and at a bargain price. But with that, guys, I gotta wrap this up. Post up your comments. Which bike do you like better? Do you like the 600s or do you prefer the 750? Let me know what you think, and I'll check y'all on the next one. Take care.